Okay, let's talk about engineering. There is a lot to discuss here. When I was a young buck and I didn't know what to do with my life, my brother already had an engineering degree. I picked a career based on kind of like a process of elimination. I know a lot of people do this, and it's such a terrible way to pick a career. I would not recommend it to anyone. If you don't know what you want to do, take some time and really evaluate what you want to do. And the way you can do that is by traveling, it's by exploring different options. Don't just do a process of elimination. I think school can still overall be beneficial to your experience just for, going to school, getting that academic kind of structure. If you need it, it might be beneficial. But if your desired career or if your what you love is not really tied to a degree, then don't pursue it. That's my opinion. You can disagree if you like. If you want to be a doctor, of course you need to go to school. If you want to be a digital marketing wizard, you don't need to be in school for that. The best thing you can do for that is like start doing your own content and build up a portfolio of your own accolades and then present that to a company, because realistically a lot of companies will not care about a degree. 1,000 kids will come out of a university every year with a degree, but only a few of them will come out with a degree and then, let's say, I don't know, their own proof of success. Hey, I have grown a following, or hey, I know how to market myself, or hey, I know how to create this thing. So anyways, engineering, 4 years, pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. I sacrificed a lot of my social life. My marks were not amazing, probably because I wasn't as passionate about this thing. And as soon as I got out of it, I would say about maybe 3 months after I got out of the degree, I took a small break, maybe a month. I traveled a little bit to China, to Japan, Thailand. I've been all over the places in the world. I've been to so many different countries, maybe like 20, 30 countries, but I took some time off and then immediately after got a automotive engineering job, which on the scale of, let's say, engineering jobs, like best to worst engineering jobs, I would say automotive is probably on the like worst end of that spectrum. And obviously I didn't know this at the time, but at 23 years old, when they offered me almost six figures starting, I thought, oh my God, the dream. I made it. I did it. I beat the video game at 23. And reality is the video game just started. I got the job and I was just miserable. I absolutely hated it. I live in Canada, but I worked in the States because they pay a much better salary. So that job paid 100K, but there's so many different little things there that you don't think about. You think about the money and you get tied up so much in it, you don't realize what the actual importance is. Do you enjoy what you're doing 8 hours a day? Because if you don't, eventually that will wear you down, and no amount of money is going to fix those problems. I can promise you that. So you work 40 hours a week, let's say, starting. My commute to work was about an hour there and an hour back on a good day. On a bad day, it could be anywhere between an hour 15 one way and an hour 15 back. So that's already 10 hours plus a week added on to that 40 hours. That commute is brutal. If you live in Canada, 6 months of the year, it's unbearably cold here. So waking up at 7 in the morning, pitch dark, driving to a job you don't hate, walking in minus 20 weather. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe I'm not. No, I'm definitely not spoiled. But maybe I don't have a good enough perspective here. But I can assure you, 90% of people would break under those conditions if they really didn't like what they were doing. So I started doing this job. On paper, my life was great. I had a girlfriend. I had a good income, stability, let's say, if you want to call it, for this job. But mentally, I was just miserable. I was in such a horrible place because, to me, I focused so much on what this is going to become. This is like a 30-year thing. Like, doing this for 30 years, I was gonna blow my brains out if I had to do this. I go into a cubicle with thousands of other people that I don't know, and literally the first day of work, this place is enormous. This is one of the biggest engineering facilities on the planet. It's one of the biggest in America for sure. You can look and see cubicles. Like, as far as your eye can see, until your eye cannot see anymore, you can see cubicles. If you have cubicle fever or whatever, cubicle phobia, it's the first day there is a rough awakening. So I started that job with lots of high hopes, lots of big dreams, like, oh, I'm going to do stuff that's meaningful. And for the first couple of months, it wasn't too bad. Like, I was kind of enjoying the challenge. I wasn't enjoying the schedule, but I was enjoying the challenge of kind of learning these new things. And then about 3 months in, my manager, who was helping me with everything, teaching me everything I needed to know, gets moved to another division. And all of a sudden, I'm stranded on an island where I don't have many people I can talk to. The work is not always coming in. So engineering in the early stages, you have these periods where you don't get much work because, one, they don't trust you. Two, it takes time to teach you, so they will ignore you because you're kind of the last option. Instead of investing time to teach you, they would rather kind of just do it themselves, and then you're left sitting there like, what the hell do I do with my life? And I know this is a lot of engineering jobs at the start. Maybe this is a lot of jobs to begin with, but that's not even true, because this job that I currently have, yeah, that's not true. So I know engineering jobs for sure. There's this little, grace period, let's say, where you're just kind of doing nothing and you're just waiting for work to come in, and you can usually finish your work well before your time is up. So you're left just in this cubicle for 8 hours a day with, like, let's say 5 hours of work, and the other time you're just pondering existence. Like, what the hell? It's like a prison sentence, but I get paid, I guess. Maybe some people like that. For me, it was torture, because I always need to be doing something. I always need to feel fulfilled, and I absolutely hated it. Then the next person I got assigned to be my, like, helper, she got pregnant. That's our supervisor, and she had to take a maternity leave. So now I really have no one to ask, and I'm getting work that I don't understand, and I have no one to ask. And stress was killing me, of like either being behind because I don't know what to do, or not having anything to do. And I could not find a way around this problem. It was literally eating up my brain. Like, I was super unhappy with what I was doing. I didn't care about the money. Money at that point was so irrelevant. It didn't make me any happier seeing a paycheck every week in my bank account, and then having to go back and work 40 hours and drive 10 hours to work and all that other stuff. So the money didn't solve the problems. So I flat out just quit that job. No plans, no real idea what the hell I'm going to do. And people think I thought I was going to do YouTube full time. Not really true. YouTube was the only thing I was doing, and I was like, I'll just do that, I guess, until I figure out what the hell I want to do. But I honestly, for a year, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was so disappointed with the amount of time I invested in this field, and like, this is what it became, that I just resented it so much. I'm like, did I really just lose 4 years for this? Like, it felt like I was just starting all over again. I said I felt like I thought I beat the video game. It literally felt like it was one of those games that you have to beat on the first, like, with one life, and if you don't, you start all the way at the beginning. That's what it felt like. So after a year, I needed to do something else. So I found another engineering job, and this was a lot better. This job was a job I actually enjoyed a decent amount. I was working with people I liked, but once again, I kind of saw where it was going. The more responsibility you get, the more stress the job is. And in automotive is such a high-pace, stress-induced field. And the people that I saw that were, like, let's say 5 years ahead of me, that I like, this is what I'm going to be in 5 years. They were working like 60 hours a week, commuting to work every day for an hour. I think the average commute in America is like 45 minutes one way, which is absolutely insane. They didn't have many holidays. They made probably 120,000 a year, but they just looked miserable. I'm like, is this what I'm working towards? Is this the end goal? Is this making it? So I enjoyed the people. The job was okay, but ultimately I kind of see engineering as, like, I don't think it's the right field for me. And maybe if you are someone that really enjoys engineering, like, let's say from 19, and you're positive this is the right path, I honestly wish you nothing but the best. I think you're blessed. You're in a blessed position, because if it's that easy and if you're that sure, then pursue it. Then go for it. You're so fortunate that you found something that you like that early on, and you didn't have this in-between period where you lost time, let's say. Like, I think I lost time, but I think it had to have happened that way for me. So if you do like it, I'm not knocking engineering in general, if that's something you enjoy. I just know a lot of people that do it just simply for the money, and they're always thinking about how the hell to get out of it, and they just don't have that key. They don't have that solution, because they haven't really explored the options too well. So they end up getting, like, really content. I don't know. They get really, like, stagnant, and they don't start finding this exit plan. And next thing you know, your best years of your life start going behind you, and you realize you have this deep regret of not trying anything else. And then you're told to do something else, or that's what you think at least. And then you're just kind of stuck in this miserable loop of making money but being unhappy. And then you buy stuff that you think is going to make you happy. None of that stuff fixes your problems. And it's really unfortunate.